Direct News TV. January 2, 2024. Israel's war on Gaza. Over 200 Palestinians were killed in 24 hours. The Palestinian Red Crescent said an Israeli army strike on its Khan Yunis headquarters has killed at least 5 displaced Palestinians. At least 5 Palestinians were killed as Israeli raids continued across the occupied West Bank. Explosion hit southern Beirut. The source of the blast remains unclear. Reuters news agency reported the explosion, citing 2 security sources. The area where the blast took place is a Hezbollah stronghold. The incident comes amid heightened tensions between Hezbollah and Israel. Hezbollah says it targets Israeli surveillance equipment. The Lebanese group says it has attacked equipment that was placed on the top of cranes near an Israeli military base on the eastern side of the Lebanese-Israeli border. Hezbollah and Israel have been trading fire since the outbreak of the war in Gaza, raising fears of an all-out regional conflict. Israel says 3 soldiers were killed in Gaza City. The Israeli military has said in a statement on its official telegram that 2 staff sergeants and a captain were killed in action during a raid on a building where they exchanged fire with Hamas fighters. The army claimed that the building was a strategic stronghold of Hamas in Gaza City, in which there were operational command and control rooms. Palestinian officials denounced kidnapping of baby girl from Gaza. Laith Arafah, the Palestinian envoy to Germany, has condemned reports of an Israeli soldier taking a baby girl from Gaza to Israel. Forcible child transfer is a form of genocide under international law, and Israel is ensuring that all genocide checkboxes are marked, Arafah said. Israel says it's fighting on several different fronts. Israelis have been carrying out a number of airstrikes on Syria. This latest one, though, is different because they released a statement saying that they had targeted some military sites in Syria. They didn't give specifics on what exactly or where. However, Syrian state media had said it was just outside Damascus and some material damage was caused. Now, what Israel is facing at the moment is fighters in various countries in the region that Iran mostly backs. It said that it's fighting on several different fronts. If you look at those fronts, Iran, then you also have Syria, Iraq as well. There's been some drones launched from there, and the biggest threat so far has been from the Iranian-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon that has been firing every single day. But this is showing that despite its continued war in Gaza, these attacks are going to continue, including those of the Houthi group, which is based in Yemen, another group backed by Iran. And, certainly, there has been a call by the military to redirect their efforts along that northern border. French shipping group increases Asia to Mediterranean shipping rates. Unlisted French shipping group CMA-CGM increased its container shipping rates on that particular route by up to 100% as of January 15 compared with January 1, according to its website. Shares in shipping companies have risen since attacks by Yemen-based Houthi rebels on some vessels in the Red Sea on expectations that longer routes will result in higher freight rates. Ismail Haniyeh, the head of the political bureau of Hamas, has issued a statement. Here are the main points. Our resistance, its leaders and fighters, are in good spirits, as the enemy is on the verge of defeat and victory is close. The enemy's prisoners will not be released except on the conditions of the resistance, Hamas. Our people in Gaza are still providing examples of steadfastness on the 88th day of the aggression, despite all their pain as a result of the displacement, destruction, and massacres they are exposed to. The enemy has violated everything in its aggression against the Gaza Strip with the utmost barbarism and brutality. Despite the torture and executions, our people in Jerusalem and the West Bank will remain stubborn, tall and renewed in their resistance. Only 15% of Israelis want Netanyahu to stay on as PM after Gaza war, report. Despite the low number, many more still support his war on Gaza, according to the Reuters news agency, which cited a new poll by the Israel Democracy Institute, IDI. The IDI poll found that 56% of those questioned said continuing the military offensive was the best way to recover Israeli captives. Meanwhile, 24% thought a swap deal including the release of thousands more Palestinian prisoners from Israel's jails would be best. Netanyahu's political rival and present war cabinet partner, Benny Gantz, garnered support from 23% of interviewees. About 30% named no preferred leader. The poll was conducted among 746 respondents between December 25 and December 28, with a 95% confidence level, the IDI said. Successive surveys have found his popularity has fallen sharply since October 7. New footage shows the extent of damage to Gaza's Old City. The images show widespread destruction in the heart of Gaza's Old City, namely the Great Omari Mosque and the Old Market after the Israeli military withdrew its forces from the area. Death toll on PRCS building rises to 5. Al Jazeera's Tariq Abu Azam says that the number of people killed in the attack on the Palestine Red Crescent Society headquarters in Khan Yunis has risen to 5. This is the second attack carried out against this institution, Abu Azam said, speaking from Rafah. The PRCS has confirmed in a social media post that the death toll has increased. Khan Yunis, which has become a center of Israeli military operations, has been under non-stop artillery shelling during the past couple of hours, he added. The Israeli military offensive is directed towards the middle governorates, which have been witnessing systematic destruction of residential neighborhoods, Abu Azam said. They have destroyed dozens of houses today, forcing people to flee towards the southern parts of Gaza. Israeli army says 31 soldiers injured in Gaza fighting in last 24 hours. The Israeli army says that 31 soldiers have been injured in the Gaza Strip during the past 24 hours. According to the latest figures released by the army, 507 soldiers have been killed and 2,265 others injured since the outbreak of the Gaza conflict on October 7. At least 983 soldiers have been wounded since the start of the ground invasion at the end of October. 42 survivors of the October 7 attacks sue the Israeli army. The survivors are also suing the Shin Bet and police for $5.5 million for incomprehensible negligence. They argue that, were it not for the failures and negligence of the defendants, jointly and severally, the disaster could have been prevented. The defendants, all young people who suffered bodily and mental harm in the massacre, argue that their lives have been forever changed as a result of the atrocities. The claim states the suit is not in lieu of the State Commission of Inquiry that will be established. Forced displacement is a crime against humanity, UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese says that Israel has been carrying out forced displacement with impunity during decades of illegal occupation. It has now taken it to a new level by terrorizing people through bombing, starvation and induced disease, Albanese said on X in a response to a post by an Israeli legal rights expert's claims that Israeli officials have been forcibly moving Palestinians within the West Bank and Gaza. Israel holding bodies of 450 Palestinians, rights groups. According to the National Campaign for Retrieval of the Bodies of Palestinian and Arab War Victims, 450 bodies are being held in Israeli cemeteries and morgues. This includes 256 in the cemeteries of numbers, grave sites marked by a number known only to the Israeli military, 18 prisoners who died in Israeli detention, 21 children, 5 women, 4 of them in the cemeteries of numbers, 47 held since October 7. During 2023, Israeli forces held the bodies of 101 people, 28 of whom were released, 6 of them interred from previous years, and 79 bodies remain held until now, making it the year with the most detention of bodies. These numbers do not include Palestinians whose bodies were taken from the Gaza Strip and its environs since October 7, according to the campaign, which is comprised of multiple human rights groups. PCRS headquarters targeted in Khan Yunis. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society says Israeli forces have targeted the 8th floor of its headquarters in Khan Yunis, resulting in the deaths of at least 4 displaced people, including a baby. What's next for Netanyahu after top court ruling against judicial overhaul? The Israeli Supreme Court has struck down a controversial law that Netanyahu's coalition government has been pushing for months, but caused uproar and prompted thousands of people to take to the streets in defiant protest. That decision is being seen as a blow to the coalition government, which promised to enact sweeping changes that would curb judicial powers but has suffered deep divisions since being sworn in, late in 2022. Israel says South Africa, playing advocate for the devil. The Israeli government spokesman criticized South Africa's decision to bring a formal genocide application against Israel to the International Court of Justice last week, which has since been endorsed by the 57-member Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Alan Levy reiterated during a short news conference that this is blood libel being brought against Israel, is anti-Semitic, and promised his country would fight it. He claimed that Hamas is hell-bent on the genocide of the Jews and sacrificing its own civilians for that cause. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.